Today we're going to do a very old recipe. It's a Coca-Cola cake. And this cake has been around a long time. So I decided to give it a try. I've never tried it or tried cooking it. I've never ever tried baking this type of cake before. So we're gonna do this. You're going to need 1 cup of Coke, and I just got a 12-ounce can that you see here. You're only going to need a cup of it, and don't get regular. Don't get any. I'm sorry. Do not get diet. You need regular, just red label Coke. All right. So we're going to start with a saucepan, and I'm going to go ahead and cut the heat on. I'm putting it on about a medium heat. You're going to have to bring it to a boil. We'll turn it up as we go. Let me get a whisk really quickly so we got that. So in a saucepan, you're going to mix your first few ingredients, and then we're going to come over to the side, and then we're going to start with our dry ingredients and getting them ready. You need 1 cup of Coca-Cola. It didn't say if it needed to be flat or not, so I'm just going to put it in like it is. Let the fizz die down. Okay, 1 cup. Okay. Half a cup of oil. Alright, it calls for a stick of butter. Whole stick. This is, I'm just panicking here. That's a lot of butter. So probably the best thing to do is get your butter, and this is just salted butter because that's what I have on hand. I prefer unsalted, but it's a salted butter, and it's real butter, and it's just a stick. It says 1 stick of butter. Alrighty. Let me get the wrapper off this. I would chop it up. If I were you, at least slice the butter. Alright. That. So that's Coca-Cola, 1 cup. Half a cup of oil, 1 stick of butter. It sounds like it's loaded with fat, but okay. Hey, it's the holidays, right? And we need cocoa, and you only need, I'm using baking cocoa, not hot chocolate. You need 3 tablespoons of that. 1, 2, and 3. Alright, so we're going to bring that to a boil. I'm going to let it sit there just for a few minutes and kind of let the butter melt just a little bit, and then I'll whisk it. Okay, so while we're waiting for the Coke mixture to cook, we need to go ahead and get our flour and sugar combined. I'm going to use self-rising flour, so I don't have to use all-purpose and add all the extras. Self-rising already has the baking soda and salt in it. And you need 2 cups of flour, and that wasn't quite 2 cups. And 2 cups of sugar. See if I can get the sugar out. 2, wasn't quite 2, so let's do a little bit extra. Okay. Now, we'll take our whisk and try to get these lumps out. So typically this would have been sugar, flour, and salt, but I'm not going to be putting that in here. Okay. Now, we'll have to wait on our boiled mixture And then we'll pour the boiled mixture over here. Okay, so our Coke mixture is ready. Kind of show you what it looks like. Try to anyway. It looks like just hot chocolate. So, it didn't say let it cool or anything like that. It just said pour over into the flour mixture. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm a little bit worried about that because I've got to put eggs in this. So, you know, the eggs will cook if it's this hot. Alright, so far it smells just like a fudgy cake. Or really nice chocolate cake. Okay, so what do we do next? The next thing that we do is we add eggs, buttermilk, and vanilla. Now, I forgot the buttermilk. But that's easy because I keep lemon juice on hand. And you can take lemon juice or vinegar and make your own buttermilk for a recipe. And that's what I did. And what I typically do is I measure out how much milk I need. And then I just pour little drops. It's not really much. I mean, I'm sure it's less than a teaspoon. Depending on how much you need, of course. How much milk you need. To sour it. And so I pour just a drop or two, and then I just kind of look at what it looks like, and you can see where it basically spoils the milk. It's not spoiled milk, but you know. Well, I guess it kind of is without spoiled milk, but anyway, I already got that ready. Alright, let me kind of test this to see how hot it is. Okay. It's warm. It's warm. Alright, we can try to add everything else. And let the eggs be last. Let's see if this milk will kind of cool it down a little bit. So, half a cup of buttermilk. I don't know if you can tell on camera, but if you look really, really close, you can see where it's kind of clabbered. That's what you want. See how it left a residue in the measuring cup? So there's that. And I'm just going to use my whisk because this seems like it's going together pretty well. So usually if I feel like a spoon or a whisk will work, I don't drag out my hand mixer. And the reason I use my hand mixer is because it's just convenient and quick. Okay. So you can see how the milk is looking on the sides of the bowl. So it should be the consistency it would be if you had real buttermilk already made. Okay. So we've added our buttermilk. I'm trying to get that combined. You need to add your vanilla. And it's only supposed to be a teaspoon. This will have a homemade frosting with it. If you're new at this and don't really want to go that far with the frosting or the icing, I call it icing, that's what I call it. You can skip that part. On the recipe, it does kind of have it separated. So, and that's perfectly alright. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, on things left, the eggs. Y'all pray that these eggs will not scramble. I already got my 2 eggs in my bowl, and I'm going to break them up a little bit before we put them in there. Just lightly mix them, then pour them in. Okay. Seems well. Alright, so the recipe says to put the cake in a 13x9 pan, and I've got my glass baking dish ready, and it's already sprayed with cooking spray. So that in. It needs to go into a 350-degree oven, which should already be preheated, but I have completely forgot to do that. So I'm gonna get that ready to go. I'm gonna get this in the pan for you, and then I'm gonna start making my icing so you can see what that's all about. And it's not really that hard. Okay, let me get my pan over here. Pour it all in, and rubber spatula, get the rest of it out. I have made cakes with carbonated beverages before. I think the only one that I can think of that I've actually made is a 7-Up cake. I made that. So, and then I seen where another channel's got a Mountain Dew cake. I thought about that. I'm not a big fan of Mountain Dew, so we'll see. I'm not sure if I can get this tribe of mine to try it. All right, 350-degree oven, 20 to 30 minutes, just depending. You're gonna have to check it after about 20-25 minutes with a toothpick and see if it comes out clean. All right, let's get to cracking on that icing. Okay, so this cake, I've done homemade icing before, and this cake, it calls for a lot of it. I do not know why, because of the pan that it went in. So if I have any extra, I'm going to use it in some of the recipe. So you need 3 3/4 cup of confectioner sugar, or like I call it, powdered sugar. It doesn't matter the brand. It'll be okay. Doesn't matter. Ooh, this butter's hot. You need a stick of butter melted. Stick of butter melted. And now, the next thing before we start adding our liquids, go ahead and get your powdered portions out of the way. So this is going to be chocolate, and we need 3 tablespoons of cocoa. If you go back and look at my Hershey's chocolate cake, you'll see where I've done this before. So it's about the same. It's really easy. 3 tablespoons of cocoa. You take your whisk. Now this is dry ingredients only at this moment. Now the base is sugar, so you don't have to add sugar. You've already got sugar, and you don't have to add flour. That's not an icing. Icing is basically sugar and fat. Basically, a fat of some sort, butter, oil, something. Well, I've never made it out of oil, so I'm not sure how that works. But I think store-bought's made it with some oils. Anyway, take your dry ingredients and you combine those. You're combining them, and you're trying to get the lumps out all at the same time. Okay, so we got that done. The next ingredients are a stick of butter melted, 6 tablespoons of milk or cream, either one, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Okay, your butter needs to be added, all of it, in here. You need to just continuously whisk. You can do like half the butter, try to get it together and combine it, because it's going to be difficult. And then put the rest of the butter in. I was going to say, when you go to do the milk or the liquid, the more of the liquid portion of it, try to do a few, whisk it, see how it is. You want the consistency to be like icing, of course, but you want it to not be too runny, whatever. This one calls for 6 tablespoons. I don't remember. I'm not sure if it's enough milk, or it may be too much. I'm not sure yet. So just do it sparingly as you go, and then try to see how it goes. A lot of times I don't like the consistency, and I'll add a little bit extra. So we'll talk about that as we go. All right, first things first. We got our dry ingredients sifted together. Let's put in our butter. whisk it together. Let's see how it goes. I always put my vanilla in at the end, but you don't have to do that. And this recipe does not explain how to do the icing, so I'm not sure. That's my oven. I'm not sure that I'm not sure about their measurements, so we'll see. We'll see. Okay, so as you can already see, I'm not sure about how this is going to combine. Alright, I got a spoon here. We may need to do this for a minute and then use the whisk. Okay. So, get our milk ready. 6 tablespoons. So let's do 4 just to start. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. See how this is going to go. And we will use our whisk to smooth it out, so don't panic. The original recipe may have made like a cake icing that was really, really liquidy. I'm not sure if I'm going to go for that. And I also don't understand why they didn't put just a little bit of Coke in the icing too. But maybe the cake will, you know, have enough of a flavor. Because I don't, you know, if it doesn't taste like Coke, at least a little, then I don't see what the point was of even putting it in there. See, already it's coming together, and I haven't even put in the rest of the milk. Now we are having a kind of a rainy, cold day today that may have something to do with it. Sometimes that'll affect your recipes, sometimes, and how they turn out. So this is kind of like, right now it's kind of fudgy, so I probably am going to add a little bit more milk. But let's go ahead before we get too far into it and put our vanilla in. You know, because we do want that to go in there. Okay, so let's stir that up. And like I said, you do not have to make your own icing if you don't want to. You can definitely get the store-bought. Just make sure you cool your cake off, just like always. And a chocolate icing or a fudge type icing would be best. But you could probably put anything. I don't know what it would taste like with any other type or flavor. Okie dokie. Now, we're going to go ahead and we're going to put our last 2 tablespoons of milk. 1, 2. Okay, now what you can do is, since the cake is not done and the cake has to cool, so this may, as it sits, thicken. And that's okay to some extent, but what if it thickens too much? You'll just take teaspoon now by teaspoon and add some milk to thin it back out to the desired consistency. Y'all, this is the cake as it's finished. I've let it cool. It's still a little bit warm. I kind of let it stand there a little bit longer than 20 minutes like the recipe said. It's about 30 probably. So yeah, we're going to go ahead. The icing, here's the icing. It's still perfect. If you do it ahead like I did, you may want to stir it first before you Put it on the cake. And there you go. You spread it. It's just like store-bought as far as spreading goes. It's a lighter color than the cake. You know, like I said, I've never made it before, so I don't know. My icing was a little bit lumpier than I would like. So, you want to get the mixer out after you've, you know, got it the consistency you want. And just run it through that. Kind of cream it better, if that makes sense. It's easy and spreadable. And it's like a chocolate buttercream sort of icing. And it looks like the amount is perfect too. So I was worried it was going to be too much. But I'm kind of laying it on kind of thick, so. Alright, that's it. Perfect cake for a potluck or for the holidays. Alright, see you next time. Got a lot more Christmas goodies and holiday treat ideas coming up.